Hi and welcome to this week's episode of Magoos Corner. I'm your host Trevor Greig and we're going to go through Division 3 reserves competition, and the first game this week was Kilburn hosting Walkerville at Blair Athol Reserve, and Kilburn unfortunately going down 2 goals to 14 to Walkerville, staggering 25 goals 20, 170. So it could have been a lot worse if they'd have kicked more accurately. Kilburn, Druitt and Wyland were the only goal scorers, and the best players were Wyland, Land, Cooper, Austin and Malera. Looking at Walkerville, Dean and Giles with 5 each, that's a good effort. Collins with 3, Toro also with 3, From, Burr, McLean, Zanker with 2, and Arbin, and the best players were Burr, Munn, Collins, From and Wilson. Now again, as I said last week, hopefully Kilburn can just continue on how they go. I'm not sure how that depth is going to be tested each and every week when it comes to their A grade. Hopefully over the next year or two they're able to recruit some more players and then to promote that depth. But at this stage it's looking like it's going to be a long year for Kilburn, but as we've said before, we hope the Chicks can continue on, keep showing up, keep doing what they can to play footy each week. It must be hard, I know that for a fact from last year, but again, keep going guys, it will get better. I'm not sure when, but it will. Next game, Jeps Cross hosted Mitcham at Duncan Fraser Reserve, and a similar type of result, 4-3-27 Jeps Cross to Mitcham, 20 goals 12, 132. The goal scorers for Jeps Cross were Wright, Payne, Jones and Bray, and the better players were Taylor, Muir, Wright, Bradley and Fotty. For Mitcham, Sutherland, Jennings, Pitt with 2 each, Hardy with a bag of 10. Which is a fantastic effort. Green, Shields, Lutz, Meaden and Rowe with 1 apiece, and the best players were Rowe, Lutz, Hardy, Jennings and Archer. Hardy should have got best on ground, but no, that's you'd think so, good kicking 10, but move on to the next one. Flinders Park hosted Seaton Ramblers at Flinders Park, and it was Flinders Park 14-6-90 to Seaton Ramblers 7-5-47. Big bustling Benny Dider kicked 4, Macro with 3 and Rusty with 3 also, Karocki, Stevens, Lawrence and Brooke with 1 each, and the best players were Ford, Farrelly, Big Brissy Farrelly, Russell, Macro and March for Flinders. And for Seaton Ramblers, Justice Adjetovic with 2, Wallace, Linky, Berry, Fells and Matt Heffernan with 1 each. Best players were Sajatovic, Miller, Wallace, Oozle and Dalgleish. So it continues on there for Seaton. They had a big day on there with one of their greats, should we say, playing 400, which, you know, put all the crap aside, it's still a fantastic effort to play 400 games no matter where you are, who you are, what you're about. So let's move on to the next one quite quickly. Pembroke hosted Golden Grove at Haslam Oval, Oval of Trees, 10-13-73 to Golden Grove, 6-8-44. Bills with 3, Willis with 2, Belelis, Benetsiotis, Clare, Savanchika and Whiteman were 1 each, and the best players for the Kings were Wood, Clare, Hilling, Walsh and Bills, and for Golden Grove, Wilmot, Morris, Sequoia, Lower, Forrester and Blades were only the 1 each, and Lower, York, Sequoia, Blades and Moraldo were the better players. Next game, Plimpton and Athelston out of Plimpton Oval, 1-5-11 Plimpton to Athelston, 18-10, 118. Looking at the goal scorers for Plimpton, Dolling, that was it. Best players were Bates, Ball, Allen, Quiglin and Pitts. And for Athelston, Fabian with 6, Swart with 4, that was Jay Swart, H Swart with a couple, Pike, Orlando, Ball, Diotolovelli, Spagnololi and Tomaselli with 1 each. And the best players were Tomaselli, Osborne, Orlando, Fabian and Spagnoletti were the best players. So I've got Spagnoletti right for the best players instead of saying that right for the goal scorers. Now let's have a look at round 3, obviously starting a week later, but for Kilburn, host Jeps Cross at Blair Athol Reserve. If there was an opportunity for Kilburn to get their first win on the board for the season, this one is it. It's at home. I'm going to tip the Chicks on this one, and I hope they come up trumps. They deserve a win. So for me, Kilburn. Golden Grove host Plimpton at Harpers Field. I think it's going to be far too difficult for Plimpton based on last week's results. Golden Grove for me there. Athelston and Flinders Park at Max Amber Sports Field. Athelston for me, they're going to be a force again in this competition in the B grade reserves. And Seaton Ramblers against Walkerville at Pedlar Reserve. I think this is going to be a hard day out for Seaton Ramblers. I think Walkerville will win by 10 goals plus. Mitcham and Pembroke, this is going to be quite a good game at Thomas Farms Oval. I think Mitcham will get the job done. So again, make sure you subscribe to the SA Footballer magazine and make sure you get in contact with the producer to have the games called live at your oval. Well, thank you very much for your time, and we'll catch you again next week.